Welcome to Green Heart Glowing. Slow down a bit. Okay. Keep that burning just a little lighter. I didn't have my regular ones, but I thought that was kind of a cute little guy. All right, I'm Kara, and I'm going to be doing a very relaxed energy reading. It's a long form video, so get comfortable. Put me on for a drive or whatever. Just don't watch, obviously, but yeah, I want to do more nervous system regulating type of content versus chopped up, crazy, you know how it is. I mean, gosh, aren't we all just so burned out at this point? I think that the pendulum is starting to swing back to long form, as much as it still seems like short, fast, like intense content is where every platform is headed. But what I think from what I'm seeing is that people are recognizing the level of burnout they're in and beginning to find ways to correct that, and watching short, fast edited content is a huge part of why we've all become so dysregulated, nervous systems, attention span, all that kind of stuff. So when I first started doing these videos, I thought, well, I need to be relevant. I need to keep up and go at the pace of the world. But then I was thinking, well, that didn't help me feel like I could channel. And that's like what I do, is I slow down and I sit with energy and I process it and I channel it. And so that kind of content wasn't working for me. So I hope that this video can just be relaxing for you in whatever capacity, that you can keep up with your own attention span changing. I know that most people click off of videos like this at this current time, but I don't think it'll be like that forever. And I know I don't click off videos like this if I resonate. Actually, it really helps me calm down to sit with a video of somebody who's just, yeah, not performing, hanging out. Let's put one of these. Okay, simplicity. I didn't plan that. See, that is just, I love when the universe gives me that little nudge, because it's very hard to feel confident, you know, putting yourself out there in a way that is not looked at right now, or maybe ever, as relevant, or I don't know, maybe I'm saying the wrong word, but that, you know, how when artists create things, or writers write a book, or people who put their sort of like soul and their heart into things that don't get met right away, or maybe ever in their lifetime, with that feeling of, wow, we really understand where you're coming from, really connecting to you. You know, as much as we all say we don't do it for approval and all that kind of stuff, but it's hard to not. I mean, we're putting it out there to share, and it can feel really deflating to be up against this system of algorithms and these attention spans that have completely shifted from even being able to like read more than a couple of sentences at a time without shifting onto the next thing. But yeah, it can be really nice while you're going through the really hard process of trying to find your voice, share yourself, and you have to once in a while get a little bit of a like, you're going the right direction. And that's what I felt like that card was for me. And also, just really grappling with the idea of when stuff is new, it's not going to feel right necessarily right away. Like it's a lot of times takes time to really hone in on what your craft is and how it will translate. But if you don't give yourself the platform, or even just try, I mean, whatever medium is your calling, so many times I think people stop themselves because they don't feel ready. And I don't think that you ever do feel ready. I think that you just feel like you've put it off long enough maybe, and at some point think, I need to just try this and see what happens. But that kind of wears off quickly, and it's this need then to allow yourself to kind of suck, to not be good, to write the bad things over and over, to play the bad music and create the videos that don't get watched. Because eventually I think you do move through all the like sort of human process, and the soul begins to really speak, and you get more trusting of what the soul wants you to do and how the soul wants you to move, versus how you mentally think that you're supposed to make that thing look. I hope that makes sense. I think it does. Let's pull a excuse me. I do not want to cough this whole video. I don't have a cough, but I just feel a little frog in my throat. Nature's whispers. That's one thing on a video that will really bother me, is if somebody keeps going. I won't do it anymore unless I absolutely have to. This is a great reading right now. I'm just enjoying the process of talking and seeing this. Fresh Approach, card 21. I am wearing a hoodie today too, which is, I've never done that on a video yet. I know that doesn't, I mean, it's not revolutionary, but I've been wearing the same shirt over and over, which I am wearing still. But it's freezing. I couldn't believe how cold it is out. And I'm very excited about it because I love hoodies, so I'll probably be wearing this more. All right, Fresh Approach. Don't have to lean forward. I have a microphone right here. There we go. Time to step out of the box and an old way of doing things. You are being challenged to try something new. This is funny. Okay. Look at how to create magic in your world. Create with the intention of filling your life with joy and happiness. Achieve your desires while experimenting with new activities. I am not making this up, and I did not stack the deck. All right. You always have options. Don't feel limited. Even when you aren't in motion, you are making a choice. You are being prodded to make a decision now. Don't worry about not making the right one. Every mistake brings us lessons and opportunities. The amount you can learn is immeasurable. Base your choice on love and the best option for you. Imagine that failing is not part of any of your choices. What will you choose? Love that alignment. And I feel so good being back in my space. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and I also won't be here for the next few days, but then after that, hopefully get a little bit of a slowdown in my life. Being out of my space is very hard for me. Being an autistic person, with routines and things that I need, but just also like being so sensitive to energy and other people's energy and how that feels being in somebody else's space. Like I feel like I can never fully relax myself. And so I'm between those spaces right now, which is funny because it's very much how everything's feeling right now, which I've been talking about since my channel started, but it is absolutely true. Like there is, the themes happening are so clearly like you're in the doorway, but you haven't fully stepped through the door, type of thing. Like this door is closing and you're kind of in the doorway and you're trying to go through. And there's just so much tugging back, still of this other life that feels like we've lived. But I'm seeing, especially with Venus having gone into Libra this last week, there are, so Libra is very like relational, and right now I'm noticing that like people that I've seen at the gym like for years, and people that I have living in my apartment complex that I've seen for years, suddenly came up and introduced themselves to me within like right when Venus went into Libra. That happened. And it's like there's like all these energies sort of around us, and there's these energies that we're working with that have to do with our past and people that we connect to, but it's also from a pattern of wounding. And it's like we're in these like really deep healing cycles with these people. And then as we sort of move through those healing cycles, these people that are like new energies that maybe have already kind of been around begin coming in, because when you heal and clear out things that have such a strong tie to your energy, you make space to help other energies come in. And the other energies are a part of the new life that we're building. But there's still such an intense tie to this process that we're going through with healing these energies of the past and broken and severed connections, that maybe we either feel like it's time to repair or it's time to release. And it's pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. Like relationally right now, there's so much division, and I don't know, I just feel like Venus in Libra is kind of really going to push us to come from a loving place, even with people that we're ready to release, that get released with love, and then it doesn't come from a place of like, fuck you, you're out of my life. Because when that happens and we respond to the energy with reactivity, it actually never goes away. In fact, it kind of keeps itself locked into us even more. And so it's really important right now to be intentional about how are you releasing patterns and dynamics, and how are you communicating with these energies that are trying to evolve you and grow you into this version of your new self. But it's really challenging you to confront parts of yourself that, let's say, you're an extreme people pleaser. This is definitely something that I can say for myself that I am. I have a Libra rising, but I also just, as an autistic person, and I think just a lot of sensitive, especially female-bodied people, like have learned to be compliant and nice and to get life to work for us in ways that doesn't feel as threatening, or so that we don't get misunderstood. And right now you might be more so like having done the work on being a people pleaser, and you might have felt like you've made progress that feels like, wow, I set that boundary and I said that thing that I never would have said before, and I created this space and I created the distance, and I did it from a place of healing, not from a place of woundedness. And yet, here it is again. That's where we're at right now. Here it is again. Here's this dynamic again. Here is me going into the fawn response again because I'm too afraid to assert myself. I'm too afraid to put up a boundary. Or maybe I don't feel like I can. Maybe I don't feel like this is the right relationship to do it in, or the right setting, or I'm just not ready. And there's space for that too. That is important. You need to right now be discerning about where you're putting boundaries and who you're giving them to, and the setting that it's all taking place in. Because if it doesn't feel like alignment for you, I mean, sometimes, putting up boundaries, it's like, I don't want to do this, but I know I have to, versus like, I don't feel safe to do this with this person. I don't feel like I can. Honor that too. That's all part of this like growth and healing. And you can always find ways to keep practicing and working on this, but it doesn't necessarily have to, you don't have to necessarily take on the biggest, scariest energy right now. So taking small steps, being really kind and compassionate to yourself about where you are feeling good to move forward and where you're still in this process that needs you to just slow down, honor that you're not ready. And in some cases, like, you may need to physically change locations in order to get space to be able to then begin on the boundary work with that relationship. And I'm seeing that that's going to probably be the case for some people. And just to know that, yeah, they say, well, anytime you move, you still, carry yourself with you. And that's true. Like, you can't run away from yourself, but that's not what you'd be doing. What you'd be doing is leaving a dynamic and getting plenty of space from it so that you can focus on your healing, surround yourself with people who can see you, or not even, you don't even have to surround yourself with people. I mean, genuinely, but find healthy, safe connections. It doesn't need to be like, I'm saying this because we as a society have this storyline that, we need to have constant socializing groups and communities and things like that. And I am more of I'm a loner. I have people who I feel safe with, and I also don't buy into the narrative that everyone needs a huge community of people. So that's where that was coming from for me, because I know a lot of people do feel that way as well, especially people who are neurodiverse, who get looked at like there's something wrong with them if they're not being social all the time. But that's just normal and natural for a lot of neurodiverse people. And so circling back to, if you need to physically change your location to get space from a relationship that is not helping you evolve, that what your focus then can be about is, what feels good? Do I want to bring in people around me that feel healing and nurturing and good for me to go forward? Or do I need to move, take a breath, have some solitude, get my footing, and maybe just get some like one-on-one support so that you can have resources and feel more anchored and grounded in the courage that it takes to then continue working on the boundaries with this person. I'm saying this very specifically, so I'm wondering if it's coming up for anybody that's watching this. That can happen sometimes, but that's Venus in Libra. That's happening right now. Just wanted to put that out there as what I'm picking up on. And yeah, these people-pleasing dynamics are no freaking joke, and you just have to keep doing your best because, you know, we developed these ways of being for a reason. A lot of times people are like, oh, well, you're not saying how you really feel about something that's not genuine. But it's like, that's not what it is. A lot of people don't or haven't actually been safe to say their feelings without it becoming sometimes threatening, sometimes, you know, mocking and bullying. And so if you're one of those people, just really kind of being accepting of that part of you that needs to do that, and also being more aware of then watching that dynamic play out, watching you do the fawn response, and watching then what that costs you in terms of your energy, your sovereignty, and even just like the way that you feel, like the betrayal of the self that you want to become versus who you no longer identify with as you, which can really piss a lot of people off that are used to getting access to you all the time. That's also coming up in big ways. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and save talking about the new moon. Yeah, there's a new moon coming in on the 21st. I'm not feeling a strong pull and connection to it, so that's why I'm not sharing about it, but it is coming in on the 21st in Libra. So in general, we have a lot of Libra things happening, but for me, specifically talking about Venus in Libra, felt the most alive. And I'm going to wrap up with a card. Wisdom of the Oracle. That's my ring light. Let's see if I can get it. I'm thinking about getting new lighting, but right now I'm just trying to get these videos up every week and see how they evolve as I evolve. Okay. All that glitters. 16. That's about masking or people not being honest with you. Which, man, I'm having come up in my life right now. People's kindness and just want the best for you being disguised as something else that fulfills a need of theirs. And yeah, a need to see beyond the superficial. The desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing. This is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. There is a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how spirit protects you? Better things await. That is very intense way to end the energy reading. But unfortunately, it goes along with the themes of Venus and Libra, relationship dynamics, people. I mean, Mercury is also, and Mars are still in Scorpio. But it's not all about astrology. I just like to find patterns and relate it to astrology because it's my special interest. All right, this quote to finish. I don't know why I did that. Okay. You must always remember this, that no matter what you're going through, no matter what appears to have come upon you that you consider negative, it's a blessing in disguise. If you handle it in the right way and you work through it by not reacting to it, it will turn into something so beautiful you can't imagine. I can assure you of this, but if you react, you may win, you may get your point across, but that will only last a short while. Then you'll have to go through the condition again and again, perhaps with other people, and you'll never know why you suffer so much. If you observe without getting excited, then you've passed that test and you will not have to repeat it. But if you get angry, you get upset, you want to get even, you're always thinking about it, and you have hate and animosity, even though you move away from that situation, you will meet that situation again and again and again until you learn not to react to it. From Robert Adams. Feel really good about that energy reading. Thank you so much for sharing some of your energy with me today and for subscribing and liking. It really helps my channel out. I'll be back soon for another energy reading.